Perfect. I guess I'll kind of go back a little bit. I've spent the last 2 years working in sports tech. I've been in your situation. I'm all in your situation going back in 2 weeks as I rejoin an NHL team. But I spent the last 2 years working in sports tech, first for Fast Model, then as we got acquired by Hudl. So I've kind of seen the other side of it, and I've been the first guy, as Evan would say, to say, hey, this feature should exist, this should exist. I don't like how this works. This could be better. But as you hear Matt speak, and I would just say that I don't think that as much as Matt is excited about the future of Hudl, I would say I'm equally excited about the future of Hudl from a hockey perspective. I look at it from my own personal experience. I've got 3 boys who all play hockey. My 10-year-old uses Hudl. He uses Hudl Assist. My 14-year-old used Instat. Hudl has a Hudl account. I've touched every piece of our product line, and I truly believe in kind of the future and the vision of our product. The issue, I would say, with Hudl, and I'm being honest at the moment, is, as Matt said, we're a massive company. We have the entire soccer market, we have the entire basketball market, we have the entire huge piece of the football market. So sometimes when it comes to specific product requests like Command Tilde, it's something that, yes, we all believe it should happen, and I'm an NHL client, I want it to happen tomorrow. And I would be the first to say, when I'm the video coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, I would say that. But realistically, as a company, it's not something that they can necessarily turn around on a 24-hour basis. Or it may not be something that as soon as they say one bun rewind, one bun fast forward, as soon as we do it for the head coach of the New York Rangers, then suddenly it pisses off the head coach of Manchester City. And now there's going to be ramifications down the road. So when I started looking into AI, and everyone uses the word AI and how is it going to be efficient, it's how can we use new tools to help us do our jobs more efficiently. So Matt talked about what's the point of Hudl in the first place. It's about efficiency. It's about giving us back time in our week. It's about finding workflows that we have that we don't like and finding a new solution for it. When I look at myself personally, I have a business degree. I don't know anything about computers from a technology perspective. I don't know how to code. I tried to learn to code a little bit during the pandemic. I still cannot code if my life depended on it. But now we have this new technology in these AI chatbots, whether it's Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Grok, whichever chatbot you want to use, you have now this functionality to do things that 5 years ago we didn't have access to. So you can think about it just from let's forget Hudl, let's forget that workflow for a minute. And I'll give Hunter Cherney credit for this from Utah. He sent this over to me, and I did it the same way for me. So the season schedule was released on whenever it was in July. I took the season schedule, I took the master Excel or file of the entire season schedule. I put into ChatGPT. I said, please list me all of Anaheim's games, what the game time is in Pacific time zone, who we're playing, what the location of the game is, who our opponent played the previous game, whether that game was home or road, who they played 2 games ago, whether that game was home or road, what time those games were, and tell me whether our game was going to be a rested game where we have an advantage, whether it's a tired game where they have an advantage, or whether it's an advantage game, a tired game, or a rested game. And basically, we've all done these schedules before. Hey, this is my pre-scout schedule for the season. These are the 2 games that I'm going to go and pre-scout for the opponent. But using ChatGPT, I was able to create this spreadsheet literally in about 5 minutes. I created a spreadsheet of a complete analysis, understanding each one of our games for the season. And I was able to create that. All of our coaches love it. I know back-to-backs. I was able to do a full back-to-back analysis on how many we had, how many other teams had, a full schedule analysis of the NHL schedule the day it's released using ChatGPT. So, hey, this is fantastic, but this has nothing to do when it comes to Hudl. So there are things that we have in Hudl that, hey, the functionality, as Evan spoke about, you have a game, you open it, you create a playlist of events. I'm going to say chance against. I put it into a sorter. And the way that I would do it when I was a video coach in Florida is I click the blue button, or I click the button, I pull back, and it's just not as convenient as Command Tilde. Okay, so I can complain to Evan as much as I want to say, yeah, you guys should build Command Tilde, but how can I actually come up with a solution myself? How can I do something myself to make myself more efficient? So there's a product out there called Carabiner Elements. And what Carabiner Elements does is it allows you to be able to make your own keyboard shortcuts. With these keyboard shortcuts, you can make them product specific. So, hey, when I use this specific shortcut, it only is active in Hudl Sports Code, or this may only be active in Excel or Word or whatever it is. But now suddenly with this shortcut, and to create these shortcuts, to make them simple, it's like, hey, I can reprogram my shift key to actually be F. So when I hit the shift button, it presses F on my keyboard. That's kind of the concept of it. But you can do more advanced, what are called complex modifications. So as an example, I want to remap my left arrow key to as an example, when I rewind, if I want to go rewind or fast forward, if I press down the right key, it goes, 1x or 2x? And if I hold down shift and right key, it's going to go in 2x or 4x. It's going to go faster. So in Catapult, you can go in, you can say, hey, I want the right arrow key to fast forward and rewind in 4x or 6x or whatever it is. For us, you have to hit 2 buttons, which to us doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but to a coach, it can be a real big deal. So using Carabiner Elements, I created a complex modification. So I remapped my left arrow key to, when I press it down, it's like holding down the shift left arrow key. So what it actually looks like, I used Google Gemini. I said, please create a script for Carabiner Elements to remap my left arrow key to be holding down shift left arrow. So now when I press down left arrow, it goes shift left arrow. So I was able to create a keyboard shortcut specific for that user, specific for that machine that is going to accomplish what the coach wants to accomplish. So the big one is Command tilde. So I want to open this up. Right now it's at 12:05, and I want to be able to go back and say, the coach always says, well, what happened earlier in that shift? And so what would we do before? We have to open it up, we pull it back, we open it up like that. Again, using Carabiner Elements, I was able to create a keyboard shortcut. So when I hit Control tilde, it's like hitting the Shift Control I button 30 times. So when I hit Shift Control I, see how it takes it back half a second? I hit it twice, it takes it back, so now it's 12:06. I hit it twice more, now it's 12:07. So I hit a keyboard shortcut, or I created a keyboard shortcut, so now when I hit Command or Control tilde, it's going to open up this clip. It's going to run that 30 times. So it takes it back 15 seconds. Going back another clip, 9:20, I hit the Control tilde button. Now that's going to open that clip up to 9:35. It's going to take it back 15 seconds. So this is essentially the same functionality. What is the problem? Define what the problem is. Coaches want to be able to go back easily, and I want to be able to go back very easily, 10, 15, 20 seconds in a clip. I want to be able to do that. Identify what the problem is, and then look for something to be able to solve that problem. So using Carabiner Elements, I was able to solve a keyboard shortcut problem where I didn't have a keyboard shortcut in Hudl Sports Code that I liked from Exos Catapult. So that's a great tool. Carabiner Elements, there's different things you can do with it. Think of ways that you can use keyboard shortcuts to make your workflow more efficient. So what keyboard shortcuts don't you like? What keyboard shortcuts do you want, could you create? Hey, I actually kind of like, to be honest, I still am used to cutting in Thunder, where it's Control 1 or Control 2 to snip in and out versus going Control I and Control O. So you can reprogram all these different keyboard shortcuts using Carabiner Elements. And again, I don't know how to create this complex script. I'm not good with this. I didn't write the script myself. I used an AI chatbot like Google Gemini to be able to go in and write that script for me. So I can go in and say, hey, write a script for Carabiner Elements that remaps the shift arrow key to the left arrow key only when Hudl Sports Code is open, and it writes that complex modification for me. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so that is the first part of it. The second part of it is there's also going to be workflows that are not as efficient as that we may like, and that are workflows that we believe we can do better. So as an example, I'm going to go to SportLogic quick, and we've all downloaded XMLs from SportLogic, video files and XMLs. So as an example, I want to just download these clips. I go download video. I'm going to save it to a location. And then I'm going to download the Hudl XML to go with it. So this process isn't bad. When I want to import this video into sports code, the process itself isn't bad. It's just a lot of clicks. So like when I look at it now, I have to make sure sports code's open. I go File, Import, Video, find the video, import the video, File, Import, sports code XML, find the XML, overlay it on top of the video. So what I did is I created a script, and the script tells me to, if I save the video in this specific folder, XML import, sorry, it's still downloading. Apparently the internet at this hotel is not as fast. If I save the video in a specific folder, it's going to create a script that is going to run and follow certain commands. So I'm going to open up my shortcuts menu. So I write a script using ChatGPT or Google Gemini or whatever it is, paste that into script editor, and now I can run that script and see what have happened. So let's just run through this real quick. Let's create a script. So let's go new chat. Let's say write a Apple script to do the following. Okay, we're going to open Hudl sports code. And now we're going to open up the search function. So press Command F. Okay, now it's going to write an Apple script for me that opens that functionality. So as an example, coaches all the time will they forget that it's Hudl sports code. Sometimes you forget that it's open, or you don't know if it's the current open product or the open window. So now this script opens Hudl sports code, then opens the find window. I'm just going to paste this into my script editor. I'm going to hit play. It opens sports code. It opens the find window. So now I can create a script. This one's just very basic. Opens the find window. So now I know that I have a successful script. So now I'm going to go to my shortcuts app. And, 1 second, sorry. So now I can say, hey, I want to create a new shortcut to show up on my desktop. Let's find a script. I want to run an Apple script. I'm going to go here, and we're going to call this open find. Okay, I'm going to hit play just to test it out. Same idea. It opens the find window. Okay, so now I've got the script. It's a shortcut. So now I can save this into my Hudl shortcuts, which is just going to show up now on my desktop. And now this is going to be I have a script that now I have one button on my desktop that says open find, and now that's going to open up the find window specifically for Hudl sports code. So again, I know nothing about coding, but I was able to write a code or write a script that did this workflow for me. So like I said, the workflow that I find painful, which I know really isn't, is taking a sports code XML and importing it. So I wrote a script that, again, I'll go back to my shortcuts. So when I look at my run XML import, so basically it's following different commands. It's opening Hudl sports code. It's importing the video. It's finding the specific file path. It's going and hitting specific buttons. Hit right key, hit the enter key. And it's running that workflow that you may do 20 times in a day. It's doing all that for you. So now I have it set up. So if I save a file, a sports code file, a sport logic file into this run or XML import folder, now all I have to do is hit run XML import. What it's going to do is open sports code, goes to that specific folder, finds the video file, imports the video file, saves it to the location that I told it to. Just say always save it to my desktop. The video is now imported. Now I want to find the XML, goes back to the XML file, puts it here, brings it,
files deleted,
and then also deletes the XML that was there. So now, instead of me having to do those 20 clicks to be able to import that XML from Sport Logic, I wrote a script that now I hit one button, I save it in that folder, and now I have that specific video on my desktop without having to do anything. So getting back to the whole point of what Hudl sports code is and what Hudl is we want to make your life more efficient. We want to have these workflows that are inefficient for you, and we want to make those things more efficient. So another one, we all want to have custom headings groups windows. So as an example, What our workaround is, or what we tell you our workaround is you create a headings group column. Hey, these are your chance analysis that you're going through, and this is the chance analysis that you're doing. We tell you to copy, paste, duplicate this folder, duplicate this sorter, rename it, and then you can do that. So again, wrote a script, literally did it on the plane here yesterday. So I go to Gemini, I can actually find my script. What I told it to do is I said, I want to go to this specific location, open the file in that location, select file in top menu, run a command, navigate to the specific folder. So now when a coach comes in between, says he wants to do a face-off breakdown or a chance analysis breakdown, he runs a script. It's going to find that specific sorter. It's going to take me to where I want to save that. We're going to call this Game 3 Chance Review. And now I have a standalone or a reference sorter with my specific headings groups that I want. So you want to do a chance review post game, you want to do a face-off review, you want to have the goalie has his own custom headings groups, or like we would use in Catapult. So I solved what was my problem. Coaches like custom headings groups. What's the issue? Sports Code doesn't currently have custom headings groups. And again, I can complain and all I want that, hey, they should do this, they should figure it out. And if enough of us do complain, they will figure it out. They're very good at being responsive. But in the meantime, how can I shouldn't laugh at that. How can I create solutions to those workflows? How can I solve my own problems? Again, I don't know how to code, so I used AI chatbots to be able to do it. Different ones. My first one I did was, it's something as simple as, again, finding that search window or opening the search window. So this is open sports code, hit Command F, navigate to a specific folder, say, hey, I want to just search for through my entire season. Now I can go through and say, hey, I want to find all the power plays in the season, or I want to find all the goals for, or I want to find all the penalty kills in the entire season. So what workflows do you do every single day that really are complex workflows, but they're not? There's something that is just a repetitive task, and how can you write a script to eliminate that repetitive task? My next one that I'm already thinking of is I want to be able to go in between periods when you go before the period starts, import live, find where the game is saved on my computer, start the capture on somebody else's computer. It's not a hard workflow, but it's like 6 clicks or 7 clicks or something like that. How can I make that 1 click so that workflow is more efficient? So I would challenge you guys, and we're going to get into this in 2 seconds, but our job is changing rapidly. When I started in video, I started in 2008 was the first year. Has anyone started in video before 2008? Yeah, what was it, 91? So what was your job? What was the key functionality when you started in video, Brett? The number one thing that you probably did. What was your main task? Yeah, I would go back even further. I'd say the number one task that when I started, basically Gardner McDougall hired me in the first to code the games, to go through and say, hey, this is a shot, this is a chance, this is a goal, creating a code, and then like you said, distributing that to multiple people, managing it, and doing it all from there. But like the core functionality of a video coach when we all started, or when the position even started, was coding games. But as Double M talked about this morning, and Ian kind of alluded to, realistically, how many people in here mark shots, or as the game's going on, you code shots? Raise your hand. Like everybody. We don't need to. The data's in Instat, the data's in the NHL XML, but we do it because we still need to, because that data's not live yet. When Quenneville comes in between periods, he wants to be able to have access to be able to see the shots. But as machine learning comes through and suddenly the data is literally coming in on the game as it's going on, then I don't need to code shots and power plays and penalty kills and all this kind of stuff. I need to do something else. So our job is going to be rapidly changing. So how can we do all these different things more efficiently? So I know that gets into the next piece, but the concept of AI with us is how can we use these tools to make our jobs more efficient? And luckily, Sports Code is a fantastic platform, and it actually works with tools like this, and it's easy to do things like that, but how can we think outside the box, and how can we become expert users and solve our own problems to a certain extent too, and find more efficient workflows for what we do? Because we all do things differently, we do things a million different ways, but what's the most efficient workflow? So I guess I'll kind of open it up to thoughts and questions, and Emily.
Yeah, about the using carabiner elements.
Yeah.
So if you want to create a certain shortcut for a specific push, do you need to have carabiner elements on their machine as well?
Just on their machine.
Okay, so like head coach's computer, he wants to use Control M for something.
Yeah.
I can't create it on my machine and then transfer it over. He also has to have carabiner.
He has to, so Carabiner Elements, free program, just download from the internet. Once you create the code is essentially transferable. Once you you create it on hey, you're not going to go on his computer and screw around for 45 minutes. What you do is you create the code, you create the shortcut, and then you can literally just copy and paste this, send in an email, send in a Word document, and paste it into his, and now it runs on his computer. But the advantage of Carabiner Elements is that when I create a code, in Thunder, B is Brewer. Well, that means Quenville has B. When he presses B, every coach can really not only have their code window, but every keyboard shortcut on their computer to be unique to them as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Have you tried making an auto downloader on one of your shortcuts?
No, but I was thinking about that exact same thing. It's not, because you can do key press as well with scripting. You can say, hey, file, open from Exchange. You can say, hey, I want to go in and the issue would be the issue I haven't been able to get my head wrapped around yet is there could be 6 games one night, 9 games the next. I could actually have it to program to say, click here, click download. I could actually literally one button, click and download. But the problem is the night that there's 12, it would download 12. The night that there's 6, it would download 6. You know what I mean?
If you downloaded 12, if you set it for 12, it downloaded 12 even if there was only 6, it'd download 6 from the night before.
Yeah, it would download 6 from the night before. Then you'd have to go and delete them, which again you could, no problem. This is again, this is why I'm opening up. This is just me. I'm an idiot. You guys are going to come up with better ideas than I am. Are you seconding that, or are you? I was like, well, why'd you raise your hand there?
I think you could write the script and just make sure you do
day before.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's probably another way. I was like, only if it's select the most recent date.
Yeah, Hoop 1, you could.
Yes, the auto download thing.
Yeah.
Which again, this is one of the things that we do. Are you're like, oh well, Hoop 1 can do this, but then you forget that at the start of the year you had to go through and click and go through every friggin' 1,300 games. Yes. So I actually think this is a great usage, and this is why it's great to be in a room and talk, because that's probably the solution on how to write a script to be able to go in and look at the specific date that's on this and be able to say only download the date from the night before. Yeah. So that's actually a really good way to solution.
Probably the file name has the date in it, right? So as soon as you get one that's from yesterday, stop and delete it.
Yeah, that could be another. Yeah. So
File name and say.
exactly. So, and this is where I challenge it too. Hey, if you can create that, if you get it successful, let me know, let Dodie know, let Ian know. This isn't where it's hey, this is maybe it's a competitive advantage, but it's not this is essentially a workflow thing. This is, hey, we're making our workflow more efficient. I will send each of you the care. If you come up to me and say, hey, I want those Carabiner element shortcuts you had, I'll send it to you right now. Or hey, I want those scripts you have, I'll send it to you right now. Because this isn't a competitive advantage that's going to help the Ducks win a championship. That's Leo Carlson. That's not friggin' an NHL auto downloader. So this is where I think we can work together. If you have a good idea, hey, just the 4 of us just problem solved, the auto downloader idea. Yeah.
I mean, we have one thing I was just thinking about, we have the Hudl Discord, we're having a page on there where maybe obviously not proprietary things, but simple keyboard script.
Yeah.
Posting and having a running thing in there where it's hey, I just came up with a script that does this random simple function, maybe wants to use it in there, whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not something
No, exactly. But I mean, again, like this, like, hey, running a chance for headings group thing, like there's nothing proprietary. It's just a way that I get to point it. Like, yes, does it make me better at my job than, if I didn't do it? Yeah, but like, geez, come on. So do you think that is a question for everyone, is Discord the best? Do you guys like the Discord? That's not really my territory to ask, but that's a whole other question. Like Discord is a good place to do something like this? Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. So what other ideas, do you, as you see this, what other ideas do you have? NHL download, what else?
Like something I've been thinking of, and I wonder if anybody's tried it. Like one thing that I do it pretty much every morning, possible have the lineup written on the whiteboard. I take a picture of it. I go and put it into a PowerPoint slide, make an image, put that image on the TV. With image generation, can I just do it? Can I just say here's how I want it to look, here's the numbers, here's the roster, make it for me. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but I'm curious to see if that's one of those things that whatever workflows you do every day.
Yeah, and that's the concept of it. It could be sports code. It could also be, like I said, Hunter gave me the idea with the schedule. It's a workflow that you do that just takes a whole bunch of time. What are workflows that you do that create a whole bunch of time? And that's what AI is really good at, is repetitive tasks or tasks like coding or scripting or whatever that it's like you may not do often enough to need, but in the future, great idea. Anyone else got a good idea?
For a decade of dollars to scratch, or anyone else have an idea inside of sports code or outside of sports code? Has to be you every day. Excel, Word, anything?
Is autofill coming to sorters and stuff? I know we've been pushing for it, but if coaches start writing the exact same thing over and over again,
we're trying to figure out. So the component that we use is statistics. It's not what the only it doesn't work the same way as a spreadsheet. So that's the problem. There's no connection. It looks like a surprising spreadsheet. That's not how I do it. So we're looking at the options. I know it's a huge task. We'll see.
Anyone else? Any good ideas? College, yeah.
So, and maybe this is more of just a college one because we don't have the sport logic as instant as NHL does. But on output reports, I have probably 6 or 7 different output reports each game, and then at the end of the game, I'm basically putting it in report mode, printing it as a PDF, combining 7 PDFs together, and then sending that to the coaches. I don't know if better way, even within sports code, to have multiple different output reports combined than that to start with, or if within PDF combined, if that's
well. Yeah, let's talk to Chuck. But that might be anytime that there's, for me, it's anytime there's a bunch of clicking. Those are workflows that are inefficient or things that we might be able to speed up. So anytime that you're doing something where it's a repetitive task like that, where it's okay, I just need to run this report, and you're doing the same thing over and over again. It's not a lot of thinking, so to speak. That's where I think that something like this really comes in handy. So let's go with Chuck. Chuck's the king of output. And coding and scripting. I still use the code window that Chuck wrote basically for me. How bad I am at coding, Chuck wrote my code window and with me in 2020 and I still use it. So, Well, awesome. Hey, I appreciate the time and, I'm really disappointed to leave Hudl. I'm extremely excited about the future of this company. I asked, Matt the question about Hudl hockey today just because I think that they've made a great investment in the sport of hockey. I think the fact that we have a true hockey unit now within the company with Andrew Thomas, former college hockey player, Janney, former college hockey player, Riggs, former professional video coach. We'll adopt Evan as a hockey guy who's been doing it for so long. But there's a real hockey department within Hudl now. Instat has been such a big piece. Last year, they broke down 62,000 games in Instat. They broke down over 90,000 total games within the hockey ecosphere. The Instat platform has over 600,000 games. Hudl is the future of hockey, and hockey technology is going to be based around Hudl, and they're doing a lot of things that I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the future of. So, thanks for having me today, and I'll talk to you again this afternoon about Fast Model. But thanks a lot, everybody.